Ooh, come on. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ah, ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We're back, baby.
This behind the scenes going with is what we go up.
Hot tea, hot show, hot guest. As I promised, we're keeping it hot this season. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you heard me right. Everything we're keeping it hot this season. Now, most of you cried in our comment section to say, one diversity, one different personalities, and we're like, okay, we got you. So for the first time, we're going to be introducing different personalities. I want to reveal who as the season builds up. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some oldies back and introducing new faces. Now this time, we're going to be introducing big people. So we're going to be introducing, high class. Just never know. I might just, bring Pastor Chris here. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got an executive director for the first time on our show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's just not one single executive director, but it's double. We've got an executive director for the Great Commissioners International DK campus, representing his campus today on this show. Not just that, he's also an executive director for an international organization well known as the Ultimate Male International. Not just that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end there. He's a renowned entrepreneur, a tycoon in his own right. Not just that, I'm told this guy is just out there advancing his studies in the School of Humanities at the Slaughterhouse, the well-renowned University of Zambia, also known the Monk School, if it's ever called that. That's so I'm told by my team. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome someone I have the privilege of just not calling a friend but a brother, Wisdom Mwila. Can give him a round of applause if you are able. Wow, my brother, how have you been?
I've been good. How have you?
It's been long. Where have you disappeared to?
Well, I've been around, just hiding a bit somewhere.
Hiding, making money.
Yes, and you need to be a bit expensive.
Sir.
So when you're showing up too much,
Yeah. Sir, please. And we're grateful that you showed up for us. So please take a seat.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we're keeping it hot. Hot tea, hot show, hot guest, hot girls. Oh my God, it's hot out here. Oh, sorry, composure on camera. We got hot people representing everything. Ladies and gentlemen, this one you have to stand. If you are sitting, you have to stand. The elegant, fashionable, business-minded, tycoon, everything fits in one, guys. They say not many things can fit in one box. Yeah, the Sheldon of entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the Creative and Arts Director for the Great Commissioners International. Help me welcome Madam Kahoni Nyambe. You can give her a round of applause if you are watching.
Hi, David.
Hi, Kahoni.
Good to be back.
Good. Good to see you. Where have you been hiding?
I've been around.
Yeah.
Okay, to the stories.
People have been crying to say, we want our people back. We want the people back. Good to see you. Guys, in the interest of time, we kick right into it. Most people have been crying to say, you see, why our lives different? Why is my story different? Why was I born in this family and not that family? Yes, why wasn't I Bill Gates' child? Why wasn't I Nelson Mandela's child? Why wasn't I Pastor Chris' son? Different, but today people are just trying to find out, mainly to say our life's linearity or life graphs are different. The shapes, the circumstances, the situations that happen to our life are different. I'll start with you, Madam Nyambe. If you just help our viewers understand, what is the linearity of someone's life graph? What is that, in a nutshell?
Big questions already. What's the linearity of my life graph? Is that your question? Well, when I hear that, for starters, I'm thinking, truth be told, we're different. Like before we even get into our distinct lives, our faces are different, our hands are different, our feet are different. I mean, everything about us is different. So I don't know why people tend to try and think every life should look the same. Like every life should take the same trajectory and end up in the same place, go to the same grade schools, because everybody was supposed to be a Harvard student, don't you think? I was supposed to go to exactly, but we went elsewhere. I went to Zambia's Harvard.
Zambian.
Yeah.
Doing well. Others are not even in school.
But like point being, our lives are different, and that's just something that it's a conversation that's happening, but it's not really happening. People talk about it, but people don't really come to an acceptance of that. So really just understanding that there's a difference. There's a real distinct difference, like that goes down in the specifications of our lives, what we're supposed to become, what we're supposed to do. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love what she's brought up. So, I'll come to your executive director, Wisdom Miller, the renowned Wisdom Miller. So most people cry, to say, I want to be like Pastor Chris, I want to be like Nelson Mandela, I want to be like Barack Obama, we cry for the crown, but we never cry for the cause. Yeah, so I just want you to shed a light on that, in our lives being different, our linearity, our life graphs linearity being different. Explain how people just see the crown but not, the cross of it, and how if you want that, you should also want the cross in turn, because most of us just want to see the finished product of someone, but we don't know the process that they went through to get there. We just shed light around that area.
All right, thank you so much, sir. And I feel like you've already helped me.
He's answered the question or asking it.
Yes, you've answered the question or asking, but just to add a little bit more flesh to what you have already said, the difference of our lives go to there is the general difference, and then there is also the details of them. So our difference goes beyond just our looks. It goes to the very details of how our lives play out. Okay, so now coming to your question, where you talk about how people look at the glory and the glam in someone's life, and then they want that, but they don't think of what is behind the scenes. First of all, I want to be quick to mention that most of the times when we look at other people and we want to be them, there is the perception to say they are better than us, that like they are a better being as a person. Remember, she's just from talking about how each person is different, right? So it's like each one is a different being altogether due to lack of better terms. So you feel like it would be better for me to be Pastor Chris. You get the sense, but you don't realize that being you as well has got glory. But it's just that you haven't yet harnessed that glory, you haven't brought it out. So just like you mentioned that there is the work that happened behind the scenes. For Pastor Chris to get there, he didn't become that overnight. Yes. So there was the work, there was the challenges, there was the insults and all of those things.
Lots of that.
Yes. So you can also become glorious, you can also become well painted, your life can be painted as well. But now when you begin to desire someone else's life, remember there are challenges that the person faces. But the truth is that the challenges that, for example, that Pastor Chris was meant to face are different from the challenges that I was meant to face.
Okay, allow me to cut you short. And that's why my question, I think I was headed to. How do I get comfortable in my own skin? You said the challenges that people face. There's someone who's born in the challenges. That's a different scenario altogether. It's different when you've got problems, when you're born in problems. How do I get comfortable in my own skin to say, look, my life is different. I'm in this situation because of probably an end product. What's the process like to get over that and get comfortable in my own skin to say, look, because I think when we talk about the lineages of our life being different, I think people are just talking about the good times. But how do I manage that when the bad times are happening in my life?
All right, so thank you so much for that question. I would say, when you said the last part, it sounded like you were adding something else. How do I marry them? But in response to your, okay, sorry, will you please just re-echo the first part?
Okay, the first part is you said everyone should like sort of embrace their challenges, but there are some who are born in challenges.
Okay, so how do they get comfortable in their own skin? Okay, good. Yeah.
When the skin is uncomfortable.
The skin is uncomfortable, how do you get exactly, yeah.
Alright, so being a commissioner, in the commission I've come to learn that two people can be going through the same thing but have different experiences. But really, what is it that differentiates them? It is their, number one, their perception of life, okay, how they are programmed. There are certain people who you can be programmed to view the simplest thing as a problem. I'll give you an example. There are certain children who see chores as punishment, and there are those ones who just see it as a normal responsibility. You get the sense? So now, coming to how someone can get comfortable in their own skin, I think there has to be an understanding. There has to be an understanding, first of all, of where value is. Okay?
Value?
Yes, you need to understand where value is. I was listening to a sermon by my man of God. I love to quote him a lot. You probably hear me quote him a number of times.
Who is your man of God?
My man of God. It's Samuvita Manji. Yeah, my mentor. He's done a lot in my life. I can't mention, but there's a sermon that he did. It's entitled "Prioritize Personal Development," and one of the key points he mentioned was that you are the capital for greatness.
Wow.
He said you don't need.
Are we allowed to close the show now?
Wow. When I heard that, when I heard that,
yeah,
like it was so comforting in that. And he even mentions that you don't need connections. So I was like, okay, so even if I'm in a bad, even if I'm coming from a poor home, like I'm the capital for greatness, like you can't take away me from me. Like, okay, you can take away my suit,
like,
but you can't take away
advantage.
me. You get the sense? Yeah. So like, I began to marry it with how, okay, if I am the capital for greatness, then how can I be advantaged? So it now takes us back to how that being the capital for greatness, so you need to study. I'll give you an example. Capital can be in form of money, for example.
Yeah.
You and I can have a 12,000 kwacha each. But when we say it's capital, you need to know what to invest it in to get the sense, or how to use it for it to bring out profit. So that's where what my man of God again says. He says, as he says, you are capital for greatness. He says every aspect of your life. In fact, in the same sermon, he said every part of your life is developable. And there is value in each and every aspect of your life. And even added to say there is a coin in every aspect of your life. So just to sum it up, I think that really explains how you definitely need to identify the coin for you to use it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where self-study comes in, and after the self-study, the personal development now.
Beautiful. I love that elaborate question for my creative and arts director. Say, deal. Riding on what he has said, or Madam Kauni and brother, do you think there's a specific path one should take in life? Is destiny that deep? Does one always have to do? Because, we're just told, when you hear motivational speakers to say, just follow 1 and 2 and 3, you end up to greatness. Do 4 and 5 and 5.
I have a couple of boys and I'm planning on starting a whole business.
Exactly. I started the business with a single Yeah. I raised this business with my coin my father gave me. There's one always need to do. Is there a specific path everyone should take? You're saying our lives are different. If our lives are different, isn't there like a trail we should all follow and end up at the same place?
Is destiny that deep?
Please. Yes.
Truly. I think I'll say yes and no. I think destiny is that deep, but destiny isn't that deep at the same time. Is there a specific path? Same thing, yes and no. It depends on who you are. There's a specific path for you, but that path might not be for me. And in the destiny equation,
give an example of that path that might be for you, that might not be for me, or vice versa.
I think in the destiny equation, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. That might be his formula, but for me, it might be 5 + 5 = 10, or it might be we're all trying to get at 10, because at the end of the day, I think we're all striving for like eternity.
Yes.
Like we're reaching for eternity and pursuing that higher thing. But for one person, their path might be 5 + 5. For another person, it might be 6 plus 4, and for another one, it might be 9 plus 1. But we're all getting to like the same end goal. So even though all of us are pursuing this one eternal crown and this one, given end, pleasing the Master, hearing those great words from Jesus at the end of the day, really, I mean, isn't that the goal? Yeah, there's different avenues to get there. And even if that's not the goal, even if we're just talking about like present day things, like tangibles in the moment, things like getting your degree, becoming a success in life, depending on who you're asking the success question, it's going to look different for the next guy. For one person, selling fritters might be it, and the world will love their fritters. For the next person, it's singing. For somebody else, it's really just living and taking care of people, being a nurse, being a Mother Teresa. So your life truly is got those different specifications, and I think people try to overthink it sometimes, like you're waiting for the Lord to just come at you and give you this mystic dream and tell you that yours is this path. But unfortunately, our God likes surprises as much as we do, and He likes to give them, like He likes to hide some of those things. But I think the beauty of life comes in when you keep walking and accepting that, okay, just because the next person entered high school immediately after finishing, I don't have to do that to become a success. I might go 2 years later. I might go 5 years. There'll be person A who straight out of university gets, a great job with a top tier firm, and they're making like 6 figures within a year. For the next person, it's going to take them 5 years, but in 5 years they're making like 12 figures. And it's just like it's a different playing field in life, and really accepting that is a big thing. I also want to add on what you were asking him about, on whether, like, how do you come to that acceptance?
Yes.
I think, like, I would like to be the kind person who's going to tell you just need to sit down and accept it, like this is just your life. But there are going to be hard things that you're going to have to accept, and life is like that. You're going to have to accept that there are challenges that only you are going to go through, and nobody else is going to go through them. There are questions in life you will be asked, and nobody else is going to be asked them. And then if you're always going to be comparing to the next person and crying about this person doesn't have those problems and I have them, like, do you really want the next person to go through it? And you might even want that, but really in life, toughen up, acknowledge that acknowledge this is my path, these are my hardships, take them on and see the beauty that come out of you after the whole situation, because truly there'll be beauty at the end,
I'm struck with one question that the world has asked. We've asked God, protect us from saying, is life fair?
No, life is not fair, sir.
Elaborate, because you're telling me to toughen up. Different circumstances. I haven't had the privilege of going to school like you. I don't have probably even the privilege of watching this show on YouTube because I don't have a phone.
Just so somewhere.
Yeah, I just hid somewhere. I don't have those privileges. So you're telling me to toughen up. Are you being fair to me?
I would be unfair to you if I tell you that I tell you to go into your hole and cry about it. Then I'll be unfair. Then I'm going to be setting you up for a life of frustration. Like, I want to be there with you and hold you and allow you to cry for hours and hours every single day, because that seems like love, but that's not love. I'll be killing you. In truth, the best way I can love you is you have to toughen up. Like, it's as easy as that. And life is going to be hard. Truth of the matter is, when we talk about this thing of your life's graph being different, there's a quote I heard, the funniest meme, that just because you're suffering now, that means you're going to be successful. I know it's the expectation. I know it's the expectation. If people feel like, okay, no, I'm going through this problem today, so tomorrow I'm definitely
blessed. Jesus, shock you. You won't be blessed. You won't be blessed in the way you think you're supposed to be blessed, rather. But in truth, toughen up. Acknowledge this is the path for you. Like, sober up. I really think the key, not even toughen up, sober up and meet reality for what it is. Because you constantly comparing is taking you back, it's drawing you back. You're just getting more and more frustrated. But in just meeting reality and saying, okay, this is my reality, this was on the ground, how can I make it work? You get more out of the experience than weeping and always questioning and always comparing. So really, life isn't fair. Sometimes you're going through things that might break you. He's going through things that might break you. You're enjoying things that I want to be enjoying. And I might be enjoying things you might want to enjoy. And I'm not even share them with you. And that's just life there. Like, life isn't as soft as we think it should be. And it was never designed to be that. Even God isn't like that. And the human race wasn't designed to be that way. So I think in meeting the realities of your personal linearity for life, that's a key ingredient. So sober up, think realistically, and meet life for what it is. From the ground, accept it, maximize it. Like, get on top of life.
Nice. Have you ever encountered such a hard challenges in life that you had to encounter? Or maybe you're just telling us this from a point of view, no? Yeah, because I think someone might be out there saying, look, she's just saying this. I don't want, of course, not for you to get into the details of what you've gone, but someone just saying, you're just saying that because you've never gone through that. And there are always people who say, that's lighter, that's a lighter cross. Who always downplay other people's process to say you haven't suffered enough. And there's this funny thing among us. Exactly. There's this funny thing about Zambians, Africans at large. We're competing on poverty. I suffered more. Anyway.
They're trying to get comfort from the fact that I'm going through this.
Exactly.
To wake us up.
Not if you're we pride in downplaying other people's. So you was no, this is a conversation we have in Zambia. Like it's always to put your bad story out there for people. Like I get it for a point of relation. So behind the scenes, he told me something to say. If you don't go through it, who do you want to go through it? Yeah, but exactly. So my main question, I think, as we close, is how do you? You mentioned already being comfortable with that. How do you understand the seasons? How do you understand to say, look, this is for CAD, this is not for me? Others say, no, hard work. Truth is, I've seen people who've worked hard and still haven't made it.
That's because they're working at them in your best success.
Yeah, they have your best success. I mean, I'm sure we've seen most of us who've moved. The people who move around in our towns and everything, those people are hard workers. You know how they move with the sun and everything. They're out there putting in their heart. But how do you understand seasons? To say, this is for me, this is for me. And maybe just to couple it, CAD, your question as well, is how do you not, as we talked about, downplay other people's, life graphs? Just
you're going to meet amazing minds who are going to tell you about how they saved up and they started like amazing businesses at 21. How at 21 they opened 3 stores and they had like, they had like the whole portfolio down. Like you're living the dream. They were living the dream. Meanwhile, you're still pushing things, and everything is just falling on the back burner. So at times like that, I feel like it's really easy to compare and really think, what am I not doing? And I think I faced a lot of that. I faced a lot of, I'm trying this business, it's working for the next person, it's failing for me. I shut it down. Start another one, it's working for the next person, it's not working for me. Shut it down and start the other one. But I feel like coming to a point of realizing, like he said, I'm the capital for greatness. Realizing that even for this next thing out of me to work, that's not the real capital. The real capital is me, and maximizing myself even on that. And also realizing the specification to my life and what is actually meant for me. It wakes you up to a lot of things. Acknowledging that there's that specific thing for me, not particularly a specific business, but a specific path I'm taking. I think it's been took my mind off of looking outside the window and made me realize that even the people I'm comparing myself to, they're not telling me the full story. Like even post testimonies are a little bit questionable. For instance, the person is telling me at 19 they opened 3 chain stores. I look at them like the 3 chain stores they're talking about is maybe just like something small here, something small there. Yes, and they're on Instagram, but they're making you feel. Or for the next person who's telling you that they opened like a whole hotel at 25. They're not telling that before that there was a lot of things that happened in the background. There are a lot of tears that are not seen. There are a lot of rejections that happened, a lot of no's they had to get.
They don't tell you the kind of family they came from.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who gave them the capital.
They don't say those.
How much the capital was there?
They don't say those things. They just say be bold, have courage, and take on life. But really, there's a lot of things. So I also realized that in all of these processes and all these things I've been going through, really a lot's been shedding off. And even now, the approach I take in business and in every area of my life, I have that alertness, and I have that some of the things I don't have now, it's not even because of an issue of capital. It's because the like he said, there's still a lot of raw things on me that are not going to allow me to wear those garments. For instance, if it's a lady who wants to wear a beautiful gown, but then her skin has spikes on it, and those spikes need to be removed, else the dress is going to get destroyed and ripped and whatnot. So I feel like life is like that, and you're getting refined, and for you to wear certain crowns, for you to wear certain outfits, for you to hold certain things, certain positions, certain titles, there's a lot of cutting and shaping that needs to take place that fits on your will, else it looks odd, else it falls off.
Wow.
Yeah, so just acknowledging that
Thank you.
helps.
Okay, my crew is in my ears to say begin to wind up. In closing, I'll give you all each a minute or two. As you have your man of God, I have mine. You know, he's taught me one thing to say, hey, for a black skin, narrow it down. Narrow it down to the point that they understand. Because if you leave it to presumptions, they'll always presume the wrong thing. When you leave it for them to assume, they always pick the
opposite.
In relation to our life linearity being different, our life graphs, our issues, circumstances, how do I know to say this is God orchestrated and this is self-orchestrated? You can be saying, I'm bad at business. Anyway, life linearity is different. Business is not for me. We just have the wrong attitude towards it. You can be saying, this thing is not for me, when truly maybe it's just your wrong attitude towards it. How do I know this is self-orchestrated or this is God orchestrated? I might just understand to say, God has put me in this, you know? You might be or this, I'm just imposing it on myself. And I mean it for both of you in closing.
All right, thank you so much for that question. I'll quickly say that when it comes to something being God orchestrated, the first question you should ask yourself is, am I in line with His will for me? That is very important, and that's one of the things that people never consider. We always want God to do things for us, but we don't ask ourselves, is it in line for His will for me? Because you didn't bring yourself here. It is Him that brought you here. So if at all you're in line with His will and His purposes for your life, then now the next thing is that you have to do your best in line with the platform He has given you. And you always ask yourself, am I really doing my best? Is my best good enough? When you've exhausted yourself and then you realize that you're still not getting results, you're in line with God's will, you've done what is required, then maybe you're not getting the results, then you can say maybe it is God orchestrated. Yes.
Sadie, any closing statements on that?
On the particular question, I think for starters, your question makes me think, wow, life as a believer is bliss. I don't think it's bliss because we don't go through things, but I think there are so many tools that are there for us to succeed and to thrive in life. For instance, with that, like I love what he said, but I think away from the outside and looking at what's working and what's not working, I think believers have an internal witness. In truth, I really think there's that, you know, the voice of the Holy Spirit, your inner man, that's speaking to you and convicts you about certain things. A lot of the time it's that, and a lot of the time even things like prayer. I think prayer is for that. Prayer isn't going to ask God for money. I think it's better when if you're going to ask God for anything, ask Him for a better understanding of your destiny, of your purpose, a better understanding of those things. And that means it's going to drop on you there and then, but you'll be getting the convictions. And I think these things speak to you. There's always that thing that speaks to you very loudly as a believer. And that's aside from, don't separate the weak, guys. And I said these things should come together. Pray, but also assess your outside environment. Yeah, and I think that's true. A lot of the times believers are going to do things where they say this is God and this isn't, this is me. But really, that's just an excuse. A lot of the time it's an excuse. And I don't know why it's only God who said no when it's spiritual things.
Yes, it's always
a spiritual thing. But when it's hard work, it's always something else. Like people never really distinguish these two things. But I think I'll just marry to that. Like really assess yourself, self-discovery takes self-study. Assess your environment, write it down if you have to. But then also take time to pray, take time to actually ask the Lord and to listen, and not listen with a closed heart and closed mind. Actually be open to the idea that this might not be for you. Open to the idea that though you're very good at something, it might not be what He wants you to be in. Maybe even just in the season. I'm going to add that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first time here, premium. You heard it first time here. But before we close, this time I would ask you guys to stick to time. I want to ask you a question. One word or one, just a message you'd send out to someone to understand, to say our lives are different. Maybe you've got something that's been bubbling that you haven't brought out in relation to the question, but that's just one word of encouragement you'd send out to someone who's, been asking these questions of life, probably a question that directly have been touched on. Under 20-30 seconds, what would you just tell that person without me asking you a question more? Maybe you can just look into our camera and just address that person directly.
All right, so to those watching, I want you to hear me closely. This is very important. You are unique, okay? You are unique, and you are the capital for your greatness. But the first thing, before you develop the value in you, you need to accept that you're valuable. If you haven't accepted, you don't qualify for the stage of development. So when you accept it first, you say, okay, it's true, I'm unique, I have the value, then now you can begin to develop and you will begin to see the value.
Beautiful, beautiful. CAD, I'll ask you to do the same assignment.
To add here, but okay.
Please look just right into the camera and just address the viewer. What's just one word, one statement, one sentence you just love to?
One statement, probably movie line you've heard before, very tacky but very real. Why try to fit in when you were born to stand out? You are born to be different, you are born to hold those unique things. You are born to have those awkward things that, make you quirky in a room, make you the quietest but the wisest, that make you different in a place. Embrace that and allow the beauty that comes with being you to shine through. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. From me and my Let's Chat crew, stay tuned. There's just an interesting segment coming up right after this. We're done with the conversation, but we're still keeping it hot. Just like my coffee, which is now cold, but the next segment is not cold as my coffee. So stay tuned. We got it excited. Stay tuned. See you on the flip side.
Hello there. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. I'm here to talk about an interesting and very important subject, and I'm going to start it with a question. Why or should, let me put it this way, should a male be trained to be a male? Should a male be trained to be a male, and why? So quickly, I'd love us to look at how in society today, the focus in terms of grooming and training is mostly on the female. And most of the times you realize even in a household, it is the female that is taught how to do chores, how to cook, and all of these things, while the male is left to play video games. And that begs the question, is it important to train the male in anything or to groom them in a specific way? Is it important? That is what I'm going to be talking about today. And I've noticed that in today's society, in most places, males, at least if they are given any kind of training, it's mostly when they're about to get married. When they're about to get married, maybe a few days, 2 days before the marriage, they'll talk to them here and there on a few things on how to handle the marriage. But when you look at the challenges that society is having today, you realize that most of them are actually directly related to the male. And when you look at the male generally in society, growing up as a male, you realize there's a lot of struggling to understand what it really means to be a male, what it really means to be a man. Like, what should I learn? What should I know as I grow into a man, into manhood, and all of these things? And what should I be doing as I am a male? These are things that society hasn't really deliberately brought out. They're focused on training the female, and mostly even her training is focused on the marriage part. But I'm here to just submit to you that a male as well needs training. A male needs training. It is very important. They need to be taught what does it mean to be a male, okay? What does it mean to be a man? A boy child is going to grow into a man. They should be taught. But today there are not so many institutions, at least I don't know any other apart from the one that we have, which is the Ultimate Male, where it is specifically designed to train males, to teach males what does it mean to be a male, and who is a male according to God. I think it is very important for you to get to understand who a male is according to God, who a male is supposed to be. What are they supposed to be preoccupied with? What should they be doing? So in this segment, I just want you to understand. I'll just quickly bring out a few pointers on the areas in which we are having challenges because of the male not being trained. Today we have the challenge of males trying to change themselves into females because it seems as though being female is the it thing. We have an issue where males are doing all sorts of things. They are conducting themselves in ways that are harmful to society. Okay, it's all because of a lack of understanding of who they are. Males are hurting females, males are committing crimes. But according to God's original idea, the male was the supposed leader on earth in every aspect. The male was meant to be an example. The male was meant to drive God's agenda on earth. The male was meant to be a blessing to earth. God's strategic plan for sorting out the problems on earth. So if you are male and you're listening to me, I want you to go back and ask yourself, what does it mean to be a male? Who am I as a male? What is God's idea of a male really? What am I supposed to learn? What should I become as I develop myself? Which areas, which parts of my life should I develop as a male? So I just wanted to spark that question in your mind. Is being male all about having a lot of money, having a lot of women, all about being the most famous, being the most intelligent? Well, being male is beyond that. And I encourage you as a male to deliberately begin to learn about what it means to be a male, and you will appreciate life better. You will live a more productive life. You will bring a better contribution to life when you really understand who you are as a male and how important you are, how special you are as a male. So hope you have gotten something. And lastly, I just want to invite all of those that may not have known about the Ultimate Male. We have a Facebook page known as The Ultimate Male International. You can check out our Facebook page and you can contact us from there. And yeah, you can contact us and then you will be informed concerning our programs and what we are all about. Otherwise, thank you so much. Hope that question has sparked something in your mind, and hope beginning today you will begin to learn about what it really means to be male. Thank you so much.